Assalamu alaikum. As you may know by now, if you watched any of my other videos, I am a huge yapper. And lucky for you, that's what I'm doing. So, this topic, I think I've been thinking about for a long time, but I haven't really thought about it. It's just been in the back of my mind. This is a topic about hijabi influencers. I feel like it can get a little controversial, but just keep in mind that whatever I'm saying isn't a direct attack on anyone, and it's not a direct attack on a group of people. It's just my observations and me putting my feelings into words and hoping that someone can relate to this and that they're not alone in this. And I know that this setup is very low quality, and I'm not gonna argue, it is. I'm literally just filming on my computer because my phone is out of storage. And I've put my phone through enough. So it's the photo booth app on my computer. And yeah, I think the important thing is not the aesthetics, is the content. Okay, you should be focusing on what I'm talking about, not on what my filming setup or what people look like. Focus on the brain and not the appearance. So yeah, like I was saying, I was doom scrolling the other day and I came across videos of hijabis, ex-hijabis, I guess, making a video about oh, this is the reason why I took off my hijab, or this is my story, something like that. And I was like, yeah, there's a pandemic of influencers who take off their hijab and going online and sharing why they took it off. I feel like a lot of these hijabi content creators, they don't convince me to take off my hijab, but they convince me that my hijab isn't enough. It's not pretty enough. It's not flowy enough. It's not patterny enough. If you know what I'm talking about, if you're on hijabi reels or hijabi TikTok. I'm talking about, by the way, content creators that are focusing on beauty and lifestyle and daily vlogs, not reminders or self-help. Not self-help, but Islamic reminders, stuff. I'm not talking about those content creators. You notice how they always dress in the same way. I'm not saying that they're replicas of each other. Obviously, everyone has their own personality, blah blah. No hate, but I'm just saying they're all dressed in the same way. Modal hijab pattern, villa hijab maybe, tight dresses, or bodycon dresses. I feel there's a lot of influence from the Western world, where not Western, but just beauty talk or something in general. We have to look a certain way because this is the beauty standard that the rest of the world sets, but this is not the beauty standard of Islam. And I'm looking here a bit because I have notes of what I want to talk about, so I don't lose track and I don't go on tangents, because that's what happens. That's what I usually do when there are no notes. Okay, so the comparison is very subtle. I don't just wake up one day thinking yeah, I wanna show my hair, or I wanna show my neck, blah blah blah. It's more I wake up thinking, why doesn't my hijab look like everyone else's? Why don't I look like that? We feel brands that sell modest clothing are modest because they have hijabis as their model. But that's not true. Having a hijabi model your clothing does not mean that your clothing automatically becomes modest. And obviously that's also something that I have to work on. I'm not saying that it's perfect, but I'm just saying that it's something that I've noticed, and it's something that I feel people should be talking about more, because it's it's not true. Just having a hijabi there does not mean that this clothing is automatically modest. I'm not gonna sit here and pretend that I haven't tried any of these trends. I haven't bought model hijabs. Not true. I have, but I haven't not the Villa ones, because honestly, I'll admit the quality is nice, the prints are nice, it's pretty and stuff, but I'm just it's not meant for me. I'm not built for pattern hijabs. Once in a while I'll wear a pattern hijab, but every day no, it's not for me. So yeah, what was I talking about? I bought modal hijabs and I tried to drape it the same way. Like, I tried to make it drape the same way that I see everyone online draping it. I'll insert some pictures so you know what I'm talking about. Um, and then I spent ages wondering why I don't look the same as them. And I wonder why mine doesn't look as effortless, you know, as flowy, as like pretty. And then I realized that I'm comparing my hijab, which is like mostly like full coverage hijab, to a hijab that is not. And I'm comparing my hijab to a hijab that has some strands, you know, like those strands of hair showing, insert picture. You know how like sometimes they also show their neck, insert picture. They have their full face of makeup done, lashes done, and perfectly sculpted brows, contour, blah blah blah. I'm comparing that to like me. Okay, just look at how, like, look at me. Anyways, I'm comparing that to me, and of course, we're not gonna look the same. We're not wearing the same thing. Like, we're not gonna look the same. And mind you, like, I'm not judging them, okay? Like, it's not my place to judge them. Obviously, like, we can give reminders in a nice, constructive way that, like, doesn't call out anyone because we can do that privately. It's not my place to judge them, but I'm just stating an observation that obviously my hijab is not going to look the same as their hijab, but their hijab is what's seen as the standard of beauty, or like at least for like people around me and myself as well. Like, I'm not gonna lie, like I've fallen into that, like thinking that I should be looking like this, especially as someone who, I didn't start wearing hijab as a kid. Like, I started 3 years ago, and I'm not gonna talk much about it because like I feel like it's not necessary. Like, I don't need to be in the center of the universe. Like, it's not all about me. And I feel like another thing that I wrote down here is that the algorithm creates a default. Like, most of the hijabi content that you see has a certain marketing look to it. You know, like whether it be like, you know, a bit of hair showing or like a few, that starts to feel like what a pretty hijabi should look like. Even if you don't consciously agree with it, like even if you know that it's not the hijab that Allah commanded, like you subconsciously feel like, okay, I should match that beauty standard because that becomes the benchmark in your head. Like, okay, pretty hijabis look like this. I should also look like this because I want to be a pretty hijabi. You know what I'm saying? Like, everyone wants to look good. No one wants to look horrible, you know? But like, what is the line? Like, when do we stop? At what point do we be like, okay, this is enough because I can't cross this line? Like, this is the hard no for me. Like, we can't cross this threshold because Allah says no, you know? It's like, where do we draw the line? I feel like that's the type of question that we should talk about more, and we should ask ourselves because, yeah, it's an uncomfortable question. It's a hard question, but it's one that is worth asking and one that is necessary. Yeah, I feel like once we start normalizing sorry, I feel like this is such a like this is way more comfortable. Like, anyways, once we start normalizing, is it too bright? Honestly, I don't really care. Focus on the content. Once we start normalizing, like, some of the things, we don't see it as bad anymore, and I feel like that's the scary part because even for me, like, this is more a reminder to myself first than to like anyone else, because sometimes I'm just like, you know, like once won't hurt, or like just for this occasion. Like, after that, I'm gonna go back to being good. Not like being good, but like being like to the proper way of hijab, you know? But I'm just like, that's not good. That's not a good thing. And I still have to fix it for myself as well. So I am in no place to give anyone advice about this at all. Basically, what I was saying is that the pressure usually isn't like take off your hijab. It's show a little bit more neck. Show a little bit more. Wear something that's a bit tighter. Once I'll put mascara, like I'll use mascara and it's fine. Like, there's still like a bit of eyelashes that are not covered, so it's fine. You know, it's not funny. Like, this is not a laughing matter, but like, it happens, okay? It happens to everyone. And yeah, each step in itself feels small on its own because I feel like that's what shaitan wants us to feel. And that is the scary part because we can understand it, we can realize it, but we can still not want to change. And I feel like that happens to me as well. And I'm just like, why don't I want to change? Like, what is stopping me? The society? Like, they're not the people who are gonna bring me to Jannah. Like, why are you trying to look pretty for everyone else? Like, when in the eyes of Allah, it's not good. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes we still have to like just be aware of like, you know, muraqabah, like being aware that Allah is always watching. It's like ihsan. And I feel like I'm saying this because I need this reminder for myself. Like, yeah. So it's just like, what are we doing this for? You know, why do we put on hijab in the first place? It's a different thing when it's like your parents force you to when you were a kid and like, you know, your family told you to, but it's another thing when it's your choice to put on the hijab. And I think we just have to remember like our roots, like the reason why we started doing this in the first place. Why was the hijab commanded to us? It's not because to look good. That's not the answer. Um, but yeah, I feel like it's something that sometimes we just have to remind each other that even if we feel like okay, our makeup is not complete without putting on mascara, but like sometimes we just have to remind each other that like we're putting on the hijab not for other people and not for other people to say that like, oh, you're so pretty, like your outfit is cute. Like obviously it's nice to hear that, but that's not the point of covering up every day. We don't walk out the door every day like thinking like, oh, I wish someone would compliment my outfit. We walk out the door every day thinking that okay, I'm covering up for Allah. And I feel like that's something that I also need to hear, like a reminder for myself. I feel like I've said that already, but it's something that I need to hear because I'm also not 100% always aware of that. The fact that, like, okay, I chose to put on the hijab and I'm doing it for Allah. Like, obviously, the first few, like, you know, months, it's like in the for it's in the forefront of my mind because I just started putting on the hijab. But once you put on the hijab every day, like repeatedly for years, it starts to become a habit and it starts to become something that like you don't think about. Like now every time you leave the house it's like, oh, I have to put on the hijab. But like we slowly start to lose the point of hijab over time. It's like I'm not putting it on for a lot anymore. I'm putting it on and then I want to look pretty, you know? Like I feel like sometimes we just have to like remind ourselves, remind other people that like, okay, what are you actually doing it for? And if you guys are like true friends, if you guys are good friends, your friend would, I feel like it's so bright. Your friend would love you for the reminder. Like your friend would be thankful for I personally would be thankful, even though sometimes I'm just like, it's just once, you know? But like alhamdulillah, I have people around me that are like always on me for like, okay, dress properly. Right now, the algorithm, whatever we see, like, you know, repeated exposure, if we're always repeated to the same things over and over and over again, that's what we start to normalize and that's what becomes familiar. And that's what, like, these mosquitoes are driving me insane. But, like, that's what we're starting to normalize. And because honestly, like, nobody truly sits you down and tells you this is how the hijab should look. I mean, obviously, they'll teach you, like, the rulings of hijab, stuff like that, like your parents or whoever, like, if you're choose to wear it yourself, then like you find it online, whatever. But like nobody actually tells you like, oh, this is how a beautiful hijab looks like, you know. You just keep on seeing versions and versions and versions, like variations and variations and variations until like you put this own picture, like this mental image of a beautiful hijab in your own head. And if many people have the same idea, then this is what the norm is. And anything that deviates from this norm is not normal or not as beautiful or not as, you know, the algorithm is not commanding us I mean, it's not convincing us that Allah's command is wrong. It just convinces us that our, like, that version, or whatever version that you're wearing, like full coverage, is not as beautiful as the ones that you see online. And it's honestly a very effective strategy, like whatever shaitan is doing. It's very effective because now you'll keep the principle of the hijab, but you're just beautifying it, and you're slowly, this is how shaitan works, like this is how they work. Like, like the pagan stuff, like the statues and the idols and stuff, it didn't happen overnight. They didn't start worshiping these pagan idols overnight. It started off being like, oh, we'll, make them, I don't know what it's called, like in English, like we will build these idols for memory, and because we like respect them, they contributed a lot, blah blah blah. And then slowly, generation after generation, it becomes like they slowly stop, they slowly start to forget why they were built in the first place, and they start worshipping these idols instead. And I feel like that's the same thing that's gonna happen to the hijab. Like, inshallah, it does not happen and we don't reach that point, and the ummah still has like people who are following the correct hijab and the right way of the hijab. But I feel like it might go there. Like, it might get to a point where it's like, okay, we're gonna start like moving it back. We're gonna start showing more until it's like, because have you seen the trend? Oh my god, have you seen the trend where it's like they cut the hijab and make it a bob hairstyle? That, I'm just like, actually crazy. So it looks like hair. And I'm just like, that's actually kind of crazy. Like, who knows what's gonna happen? Like, inshallah, it does not happen. It does not get to that extent. But like, we're already doing this. Like, what else will we do? But anyways, I feel like I'm going off topic again. What was I saying? I was just saying that Shaitan's strategy is very effective, and honestly, it's a very smart strategy. Like, not even gonna deny it, because it's like slowly starting to like get people away without them thinking that it's wrong, because they're still keeping the concept of hijab. But it's just like the little rule, the not little, but like the rules that they think that they can bend and get away with. And because at the end of the day, they're gonna be like, yeah, as long as I'm still wearing the hijab, like I'm wearing the hijab, like I'm a hijabi, like why are you coming at me, So I'm just like, I don't know. I feel like everyone needs to have someone in their lives who are able to remind them that, this is not the final, like this world is not worth it. Like, wallahi, this world is not worth it. Like, but that is the psychological trap of moving goalposts. Like, first of all, you're gonna think, okay, I'm gonna buy this hijab. There's nothing wrong with that, okay? Buying a modal hijab from Vela or from any other, like, famous whatever store is not wrong, okay? In fact, I'm totally for it. If you have the means, if you can justify spending X amount of money buying the modal hijab, go for it. Like, you do you, girl. So you buy the hijab. Amazing, great, beautiful. And it looks amazing. MashaAllah. Allahumma barak. Amazing. And then it's like, okay, maybe I need better pins. Great. We all need pins. I keep on losing my pins and my magnets. I could always use some new magnets, always use some new pins. Amazing. Then maybe I should shape my brows. Now, that is tricky territory, because then it's like, there's a hadith about like the Prophet ﷺ, I think, curses women who pluck their brows or something like that. So now I'm gonna shape my brows. Okay, if you do the middle, fine. Okay, right? That's fine. Still correct. But then once you start doing like it's like, I don't know how you're gonna justify that. I don't know what explanation you will give Allah when He asks you why you're doing that. I feel like that's this part that we don't think about enough. On the Day of Judgment, on Yawmul Qiyamah, when you stand in front of your Lord and He asks you, why did you do this? What are you gonna say? I was just following the latest trends. I just think that this looks beautiful. This is what the beauty standard told me to do. I feel like these excuses are like very wishy-washy, and I would not personally, I would not let that slide. And think about that. Like, think about whenever you're doing something, think about, okay, on that day, on the day when everyone is so afraid, because on that day, when you are the witness against yourself, like Allah said in the Quran, balil insanu ala nafsihi basira walau alqa ma'adira. Sorry, my phone notification. But on that day, and there's another verse, but it's Surah Abasa. يوم يفر المرء من أخيه وأمه وأبيه وصاحبته وبنيه لكل امرئ منهم يومئذ شأن يغنيه وجوه يومئذ مسفرة ضاحكة مستبشرة ووجوه يومئذ عليها غبرة ترهقها قترة أولئك هم الكفرة الفجرة. Like, okay, wait, let me translate it for. Where was I? Yeah. Okay, so that day, okay, by the way, I'm using this, what is it called? Quran.com. It's amazing. On that day, on the day a man will flee from his brother, and his mother, and his father, and his wife, and his children. For every man that day will be a matter adequate for him. Some faces that day will be bright, laughing, rejoicing at good news. Other faces that day will have upon them dust. Blackness will cover them. Those are the disbelievers, the wicked ones. So basically, what I'm saying is, on that day, there will be no excuses left. Okay, no excuses made. Like, every part of your body will testify for you, against you, you know? Like, like, whatever you choose, whatever your hands pick out to wear, which actually just baffles me sometimes, because I feel like I don't think about this enough, and I feel like people in general probably don't think about this enough. Like, whatever clothing you pick out, or like you buy with your hands, and then you choose to wear, and the way that you drape your hijab, for example, it's like Allah will, like, they will talk. Okay, it's not, there are no more excuses left. You can't speak anymore. And that just actually terrifies me, because I'll admit, like, my hands have not been the best hands. I probably picked out clothing that I shouldn't be wearing. I probably did stuff that I should not have been doing. But, like, this is just a reminder, okay? For me, for you, for everyone who is watching, to think about these type of stuff, because this is real. This world is temporary, okay? Do not sacrifice your dunya and the beauty standards or whatever for the akhirah. It's not worth it, okay? Yeah, I guess that's my point, and that's all I wanted to talk about. And that, you know, beauty comes from within. Obviously, everyone wants to look beautiful. Okay, that's why Allah also commanded the hijab for women. I think I saw this video somewhere else. I don't remember who said this, but like, it stuck with me. Like, men love to look, okay? Men like to look at other people, and women like to show off. That's why Allah also told the men to lower their gaze, and for the women to cover up, because we love showing off. Like, I'm not even gonna deny it. Like, everyone loves to be complimented, at least the women, and they love hearing that they're beautiful, you know, stuff like, not from like creepy guys, but like, you know, even within our own circle, like, of women, we still love to be complimented. So it's like, there is wisdom behind everything, and don't try to twist a command from Allah to something that suits you, okay? If you know that this is right, then try to fix it. You know, at least you acknowledge that it's correct. So the scary part is that when people do stuff like, if they show off their neck or whatever, if they know that it's not the best thing to do, and something else I also have to be aware of, but if they know that this is not the best thing to do, at least we are actively trying to fix it, you know? We're not like we're not saying that it's okay, because then that becomes the bad part, because then you won't even repent, because you think what you are doing is correct. I'm speaking so fast and my mouth is like, but anyways, I think I should stop speaking, because I'm going on tangents and I'm going way off topic, but yeah, basically, I was talking about hijabi influencers. I don't even know what I'm talking about right now. Yeah, okay. I hope you got something from this. I hope that, inshallah, like, if you are a young girl watching this, please do your own research. I would say do your own research. You figure it out for yourself, because that's the way that you would learn, and that's the way that it will stick with you. Don't just blindly follow anything that people say, because it might not always be true. Even me, like, don't just blindly follow whatever I say, because my like take on this might not be the best or the most accurate. So do your own research and figure out for yourself what is right, what is wrong, and then act accordingly. Okay, I have one last thing I want to talk about, because I cannot keep yapping. Like, I just talk and talk and talk. Like, I need to shut up sometimes. But I have one more thing I want to talk about, which is how the hijab is becoming the face of Islam. I think I saw like some girls talk about this online, but I honestly I don't remember their names. Sorry. But inshallah, those girls will also get the hasanats for this, because I'm basically just piggybacking off their ideas. So, yeah, basically the hijab, the women have become the face of Islam, or yeah, I guess to a certain extent, because whenever you see a hijabi, you're like, oh, Muslim, oh, Muslim, Muslim, whatever she does, Muslim, Islam, da da da. But like men, not really, unless like they're very obviously Islamically looking, I guess, like big beards. I don't know about men, but like for women, it's like hijab equals Islam. So Allah has chosen us. Allah has given us the, what is it called? Like, I don't know what it's called in English. Allah has given us the like um the honor of representing Islam. Okay? And we should do it properly, you know? We should do it in a way that brings people closer to Islam. Allah has given us women the honor of representing Islam, being like the face of Islam, because people can look at us and obviously see that we are Muslim. So we should not, I don't know what I'm trying to go with this, but yeah. I'm just trying to say that the hijab is something that is an honor that Allah has given us, and we should try and abide by the regulations, the rulings, and the terms and conditions as best as we can. And yeah, I don't know what my point is. I feel like I had many points in the video. All of the above are my points. Okay, bye, for real. Salam alaikum.